Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dragon and Bear Show, where we talk about Dragon Prince because Dragon Prince is Dragon Prince, and this time we're talking about season
7.
something dark.
Season 7.
I thought it was 7, but I was like, nah, it's not season 7. We've not done 7 seasons of it yet.
We have done 7 seasons of this show, Alex.
Well, welcome back to season 7, Dark Dragon Prince.
Yeah, book 7, aka Dark.
Mysteries of Araby.
Yeah, because that's the subtitle they put on for season 4 to 7, which is obviously the second arc of the story. Because we had the first arc, which was completed within the first 3. It left stuff ready for another go-around.
Yeah.
And it did that between 4 and 7. And it's kind of done the exact same thing here, where it's concluded the story from 4 to 7, but at the same time, there's definitely story there for another go-around, which the producers and creators have already stated that though this is being dubbed the concluding chapter, I mean, we both look at it and go, this isn't a concluding chapter. There's still more story here to tell.
More.
Especially, like, without us spoiling stuff, there's some big moments that
Especially in the last episode.
Yeah, there's definitely pretty 3 big points, I'd say, where they can go in the next go round, where they need to really explore and wrap up. So I feel like if you're going to wrap a show, you need to try and at least wrap it up. But in this, like, especially if you set up stuff, make sure it's not something that's like massive. Like for example, I know we dig on the Flash, but when that ended, it set up obviously the idea of it's still the Flash, but there are other people out there that can do this job if needs be. Like it's concluded the story, but at the same time, there is a story there if you want to explore it, but you don't have to. Whereas this, I think we can both agree that the stories that are definitely say, oh, this is what it's going to look like in the next go round, we want to see more of, because they are just too juicy, I think the word is I'm going to use here, to ignore. Specifically, without spoiling anything, I'm just going to use the word the bird.
I would have went Squawk.
Or Squawk also works, Alex. Like that story that's set up, something that's been theorized from the get-go, especially with you.
Like I said, as soon as that line got said in the last one, I fucking went, I fucking knew it.
I just did the Leonardo DiCaprio meme there, and then he clicks at the screen. I just kept doing that. I was like, whoop.
No.
But I was just like, they need to explore that a lot more now. I mean, it's obviously the big plot point of a certain villainous characters definitely needs to be explored as well.
Yeah.
I mean, both villainous characters really, there's some stories still left for them to tell. And I need to see those stories told, Alex.
There was a time scale given for the big bad to come back.
Which obviously would mean that if they went to another series, there'd be another big time. Which, to be fair, that's what each arc has done so far, really. I mean, there was a time jump from 3 to 4. So, realistically, 7 to 8 would also be a time jump.
But I was watching the last part with James because he joined the Discord when I was watching it. And he goes, what if the next season doesn't come out until the time, like that?
Oh! That'd be just dicks of them, that would. I mean, it's a good idea, because you can be like, oh, there's a time jump of 7 years. There's an actual time jump in IRL of 7 years. But at the same time, you go, no, I want the show within the next year or 2. Give me the show latest 2027.
It's like, what was it? It's like 27 days and 27 months, or 27 weeks, then 27 months, then 27 years. Or 25 years, is it? I don't know. There's a movie that's been doing that kind of stuff.
My mind is trying to think what you're on about, but my mind is...
I mean, no, but my body...
My mind's blank right now, but my mind's too invested in Dragon Prince. Because this season, I'm just going to come out and say, this is the best series yet. In my opinion. I absolutely loved it from start to finish. There's just so much to love about it, from the fact that obviously it's wrapping up a lot of stories while also leaving room for more to be told. There's a lot of really good character arcs in this. I mean, Ezran's, for example. I mean, from that beloved kid that we met, that goofball in Series 1, to where he's at now. Specifically the start of this series, like up until... Because he kind of went back into that fold towards the end, sort of. But the start of Series 7 was a lot of it... Was very surprising for me, for this character. Yes, you had your hand up there, sir.
It's called 28 Years Later.
Oh, the horror film, yeah. But I mean, technically speaking, they skipped one. It was days, months.
No, so
days, weeks. They skipped months.
Oh,
They've jumped to years. Let's skip months on that one.
but random. Although I would have skipped weeks over days, months.
Yeah, you probably would have. You know, yeah, I agree. Yeah, it probably would have been an easy jump for there. But yeah, still. This one just
honestly with Ez, when the beginning of the season, I was just like, bitch, I want to slap you so much.
I was shocked, but then again, you can always look at it as that's the pressure of being king.
It's that, and it's also the loss,
the aftermath from.
He hasn't had time to grieve.
I mean, the fact that this season pretty much gets us off with the aftermath of the last big moment, which is obviously the dragon attack in Series 6.
I ain't gonna lie, I completely forgot about that, and I was like, what the fuck happened here?
Obviously, because we had that big moment at the end.
I think from now on, I'm gonna have to start watching the last episode of the previous season.
See, a lot of Netflix shows usually have a recap at the start. This has recaps every episode, just not the one for last season on the Dragon Prince. Yeah. You could do that, Netflix. I know. I say a lot of seasons tend to. I mean, for example, I only watched the first, I think, 2 episodes of it, but obviously Squid Games, for example, Series 2 dropped at the end of last year as well. First episode of that literally also had, last season, what happened. Why can't you just chuck it on this? Yeah, there's a lot of details we need to try and remember, especially for the fact you're starting straight away with this destroyed fucking kingdom and seeing how different people are reacting. Obviously, you got Soren reacting in terms of, obviously, his dad's dead, and you got Ez and Callum reacting in the sense of our kingdom, our home's dead, basically.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on there, and obviously then you throw in another spanner in the works, obviously, of the assassin. Character being back as well, and that just throws Ez straight over the edge, which was an interesting turn of events for his character, in my opinion. Because they could have carried on with this, lovable goofball character, but we have slowly been getting to this more grown-up version of Ez over the last few seasons. Yes, there's still these moments of, he's still a kid, but we've slowly been getting to this part where he is a king, he is in charge of everything. So
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of sus of Queen Anya.
You thought she was gonna do some?
Yeah, she just had just this a look she gave in episode 2, and I was just like, "What are you gonna do, bitch? What are you doing?"
This show's only got one true bitch, and her name's Claudia.
Oh, honest to God,
I think
sometimes in the season you kind of feel like, oh, well, she's going to go good again. And then she's just like, nope.
I think I said to Hayden before we started this recording, the one thing that probably pissed me off with her character the most this season is she has no motivation for what she's doing there.
Yeah.
There's literally a scene, so without spoiling too much, there's literally a scene where, obviously, fucking...
I think I know what you're seeing you're on about.
I've written his name. I've written his name down here. Where's his fucking name?
Aravos.
That's the one. It's down here somewhere. Obviously... Aravos asks her a question of, basically, because what I said before, I wasn't fully being truthful, but...
it wasn't the whole truth.
Yeah, it was partial truth. But it's like, okay, I'll need to ask you a question here. Why are you still trying to help me basically bring an end to everything? And she's just like, I don't know. Why are you doing it? And it's just like, what response is that? What is your response of, I don't know, really. I don't have a... It's like, I don't really have a motive to do this. Why are you doing it? What the fuck? I like Aravos' character a bit when obviously he kind of sees Claudia as kind of like a surrogate daughter at times. That kind of is there as both, obviously, for the fact that obviously he's a father, well, was a father,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you could also say he's there kind of as surrogating for her dad not being in the show anymore, because obviously the first 3 seasons, we followed her and her dad pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, it's basically the same idea now, but obviously they're not related. So I understand that, but it's just like, when she said that, I mean, I had no, we've been stating for seasons we've hated her, which is a shame because season 1, we liked her. She was a good character.
Yeah.
It was obviously, it was the brother, Soren, we hated. But then they just went so vice versa with these two characters. And we say this every season, but to me, she sunk to such a new low. I mean, technically she killed someone, but, she sunk, even further to a new low than you could think this character could ever sink to. Yeah, I know she has one redeeming moment at the end, but you can't really say it's too redeeming because, some of the stuff she's doing this season.
Does she have a redeeming moment?
The moment when she essentially fucks off. That moment. Without going into detail. It's kind of like a moment of, is there still slightly good in her? But then at the same time, you just go, no. If this show tries to make her good in the end, no. I feel like she's gone too far off the deep end. At least we say like Terry. I felt sorry for him even more this season.
Yeah, Terry isn't bad.
Yeah, he's never been bad. He's had moments where obviously he's helped the bads, but it's like he's never really understood.
Being bad.
Yeah, he's not looked at it as like, I'm doing the villainous thing. He's kind of been shrouded by love, so you can kind of understand why he's doing what he's doing. And at the same time, I think we've been saying it since he's been introduced. We felt so sorry for him being dragged through all these moments. He's a poor chap. And when he finally stood up in this season and they gave him a bit more to do than just being this side romance character, I was like, get in there, Terry. Come on, son. I mean, that scene with the bird when he goes full like Earth elf and all the fucking vines come out. I was like, that's quite badass. That is.
And then he's just like,
obviously that kind of screwed it, but obviously, I was like, this guy's kind of a bit badass. Like, there's definitely some pretty decent moments of him. Yeah, and I like his character development heavily in this series.
Yeah, I think, like, is it bad that I feel like there's a throuple? Because at the beginning of the season, I was like, oh wow, Corvus and Soren.
Oh yeah, am I getting a gay vibe here? Because
I think it's a gay throuple.
Because all I can think of because there was very definitely moments of them hinting that there's possibly a romance between them two.
As, like, forced as Aunt Maya and the Queen.
Yeah, it's not as like basically straight. It's not really. It's kind of taking that approach that she took, where it's like it seems to be going the slow route of building to possibly some. We could be completely misreading the situation. It could be just two bros being bros. But it definitely feels like there's something there. And all my mind kept thinking of was the Brooklyn Nine-Nine scene when you have what's her name? The one who works the reception in the first few seasons.
Gina.
Yeah, when obviously the reveal, obviously fucking Holt's gay. And it shows the flashbacks, and one of the flashbacks is her going, is anyone getting kind of a gay vibe? That's all that kept running through my mind was that scene. Every time there was like these bro moments between them. But again, we could be just misreading this entire situation. They could be just really good bro friends. But
maybe I'm just wanting to have what I want to have happen. Like, I've already got the gay elves. I just want the gay humans as well. Yes. And what next? The gay dragons?
That's a bit too far gone there, isn't it?
I mean, yeah.
But yeah, fucking. There's definitely something there, and let's say I reckon it's gonna take the approach of Art and Maya, where it's gonna be. To be fair, more than likely, if they do another season, you'll probably if they're not together straight away, then I think it's just a bro thing.
Because I'm assuming the next season's going to be 7-year gap, so
yeah, that's what I mean. There's going to be a 7-year gap, so you'd assume that by that point they've probably got together. But then again, it could be the case of they're not sure if they obviously want to ruin a friendship, maybe something along that line. So we have to wait and see. It might be the case of next season jump straight in like, oh yeah, they are together, or they're still not, and there's still the hint. And they build it even more. Like, I've been waiting for this like past like fucking 7+ years to have this moment. So maybe they'll do something like that.
Yeah,
I think that'd be pretty cool because I feel like Zoran is the kind of character that he wouldn't outright say it. Like
I
he'd
don't
be
know.
too scared to say it, I think.
I don't know. It depends really. But I also think Terry's gonna get in on the action as well.
What you mean? Because they kind of pair them all off at the end together.
Mm.
You never know. It might be a little.
It's gonna be Terry, Soren, and Corvus
Your dream partnership.
because at the end they got on the dragon and flew off.
Terry can't get with Claudia, so he has to do the one next better thing. He'll one up her with her brother.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, obviously another good thing with this series as well is something that obviously we got heavily in like the third series, the last concluding chapter, obviously of an arc. We get dragon fights again.
Yeah.
Like I was just like fucking so hyped. I was like, what more can I fucking want from a show called Dragon Prince other than dragons just going to town fighting? I was just like, yes, the final battle of this show is so good. I think it easily is equal to the final battle we had in the third season.
I'm so happy that they did it on episode 8 and carried it over time on episode 9.
Yeah, it basically built up into it and it just jumped straight into the next one. Yeah, agreed. Because that episode, obviously, you had like 10 minutes of essentially this massive final sequence, and he had 10 minutes of them winding down, wrapping up, setting up, and that's kind of what you want, really.
Yeah.
You say you've already had most of the action up to this point, so it's a good wind down. I think it's fair. I've enjoyed every single episode this season. I think every single episode was really well done. Animation again was beautiful. I mean, the one bit of animation I love the most was probably the creatures from like the in between sort of zone, like the ones from Basic Purgatory sort of things.
Yeah,
like that. The animation, like the lighting on them was so good. The fact that obviously they're mostly shadows, but there's this white light over them was pretty cool. And I like the fact they're all different types of monsters as well. That was really good. I mean, we even got the little pixie creature back, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, like he's like the last one who's like just like, meh.
Yeah, they're the final shot of the episode. Meh.
I was like, what the fuck?
I was like, wait a minute, that's fuck off. I know who that is. It's the one who was boogieing that one time.
Yeah.
But this season, there's just so many like good moments. I mean, there is a lot of humor, despite the fact that it does take. It utilizes its 12 rating to perfection. There's a lot more darker moments. I mean, I said to you that one scene with a hand. I expected it, but I was like, nah, it won't go that far. And it goes that far, and you see the blood and everything.
I was literally saying to James, I was like, it's gonna,
and then
he's gonna,
and it's just the fact the blood oozes out the hand. I was like, fuck, that's dark. I was like, they definitely wouldn't have got away with that if it was a PG. It definitely utilizes a lot of that dark nature perfectly in the show, but there is a lot of still humorous moments, a lot of lovely moments. I mean, the berry scene, just like went full like weird anime sequence. Like, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
I literally put that as well. I was like, what the fuck am I watching?
I was like, is this just got full anime right now?
I wanted them to do it with the dragon.
I wanted them to change the art style entirely, like, because it kind of reminded me of Princess Kenny in South Park. Whenever obviously, it kind of reminded me of that. I was like, I hope they change the art style here. And imagine if we went like full like anime art style for that. Would have been like cracking up so much. I think the other humorous moment is probably the bait scene at the end. Boom, 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 boom. I was like, honest to God, I was laughing for about 5 minutes straight with that scene. I was like, for fuck's sake, because it's the noise that we hear every time an episode starts, because it's the ba-bum. But the fact they got every single creature involved in this sequence, I was generally laughing my head off for 5 minutes straight. I just couldn't keep a straight face. Oh, there's just so. I mean, this season itself is just full of twists and turns every chance it gets. And
I don't like the voice.
Of what? Oh, the big twist, the big reveal, essentially.
I do not like the voice. Even though it's Callum's voice, technically.
It's the same voice. It's not the same voice, though. Which character you're on about?
Yeah.
It's not the same voice?
No, I'm not on about the squawk. I'm on about
the other flappy one. The other one. No, it's not Cam's voice.
Are you sure?
It's a different voice actor. I googled it. It's a different voice actor.
I've looked it up as well. Like, I'm getting the same voice actor as Callum.
I googled it last night, and it's not the voice actor. Because I was wondering myself. I was like, who's this voice?
Basco.
I'll tell you the voice actor right now.
Oh, wait, maybe it is. Maybe I've misread it.
Series 7.
Dante Pasco, the voice of Zuko in Avatar: Airbender.
Episode 9. It's at the bottom of like IMDb. Because it does begin with a Z, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Dante Basco.
Okay, so I was right in thinking the voice was who I thought it was originally, but then Googling it now, it's just confused me. So that voice is the voice of Zuko from Avatar. So now we've got Sokka as the main character, and we've got Zuko as the main character.
I'm trying to find my fucking avatar is on here. Just so I can confirm that for myself.
Not the anime, not the live action.
Yeah, no, there it is, down the bottom. Yeah, Zuko.
Just to clarify.
Yeah, I'll scroll all the way down. Zuko, yeah.
Yeah.
I say it wasn't Callum's voice, because I myself was like, that voice does sound a bit familiar. But yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I know that voice. I'm pretty sure I know that voice. And then I didn't think to search it last night.
Question is, will they change the voice if they bring it back because of the age gap? Because
it's very high pitch.
Or will they keep it the same? Because
I don't know.
I reckon they might keep it the same, but maybe slightly up his voice, like make him do it slightly different,
or a bit deeper.
Not like I don't think it'd be a heavy deep. Because realistically, it's a dragon. It's a dragon.
It's only 7 years.
Not going fully detail of it.
But yeah, I see what you mean though. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I'm trying to see what else I got here.
The Claudia parts, like the early episodes parts of him, anyway, were quite fun.
The fucking carousel scene.
The carousel scene
that caught me off guard. I was like, "What the fuck?" Especially Aravos's reaction to it. That definitely caught me off guard.
Yeah, he. I honestly thought like he's not a bad. He doesn't seem like a bad guy.
And then the season goes along. You're like, no, okay, bad guy.
Yeah.
Specifically the bird scene. I mentioned, yeah, bad guy. I mean, the unicorn sequence is pretty cool as well. The reanimation sequence, that was like really well done.
The animation is on peak again.
Yeah, definitely. A few
also,
things.
There's a Snow White reference as well.
The apple, yes.
Yeah.
So,
look he was got.
I've got a few things I just want to point out. First off, in the first, I think it was the first episode, Moana much with the island scene.
Yeah.
The first thing that came to mind was Moana.
Quite a few Disney references, huh?
Yeah.
Just after that was Snow White.
What else have I got? The Aravos monologue from episode 4 when he speaks to Terry one-on-one was so fucking good. With the big reveal of everything and whatnot, that was just so well done. I mean, from the voice acting just to the writing of the dialogue was just spot on. It just hit home, really, of what has been going on between Terry and Claudia. I was like, that is a really good speech.
Yeah. There's two things you missed from episode 1, by the way.
Which one?
Firstly, the Watchers.
Oh yeah, there's a Marvel reference. Yeah, I got that as well. Yeah. But first thing
what if? I was like,
the first thing I thought was, especially when they're like, "Oh, we just watch, we do not intervene." I was like, "Fuck off! Are you like just copy and pasting?"
I mean, technically,
Watchers have been around in Marvel for a long time.
Yeah, but I mean, like this part with the recent What If Marvel, like. It was like kind of like funny. I was like, "Oh my god!" And then like the dress up scene of Aravos.
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh, that was quite funny for me because just seeing all the different types of elves.
This elf. How about this one?
Yeah.
It's just the fact he's like, "Oh, you like the earth ones, don't you?"
I mean, like the wood touch elf.
I was like, for fuck's sake! It's just that. I think that it's obviously a funny sequence, and it's just that bit when he's like, "I know you like this kind," and it just cuts to Terry, and Terry's like,
Terry's just like, yeah, I would.
What else have I got? Oh, obviously, no news on about voice actors. Another fun fact for you regarding a voice actor. So, do you know the episode when Rayla goes back to the obviously Emerald Grove?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, and she gets obviously the two gay dads there.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, the only way to unbanish you is you have to
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
get forgiven. And that guy takes her through the
Yeah.
thing, and obviously she has to speak to him directly because it's his forgiveness she needs.
Yeah.
The voice actor for him,
That caught me right off guard. That did. I was
Yeah.
like, wait, why does she need to take forgiveness from him?
that was a big twist. But the voice actor for that guy was actually in the 3 Sonic movies. He was Agent Stone in Sonic.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, it was. I was like, that guy sounds familiar. And it slightly sounds familiar. But when I was looking through the cast, I was like, wait, that guy's in it? Because obviously I know him from Sonic. I've seen him in a couple of films throughout the years, but obviously I know him as well recently from Assassin's Creed Mirage, because obviously he was the main protagonist. But obviously, I think Sonic's the big one really for him. And I was just like, wait, who is he? And obviously, I had to keep flicking back in this one scene when obviously her surrogate dad literally says his name when he says what are you doing, keeper, and then says his name. I was like, is that him? Because I didn't see his mouth for me. I was like, is that him saying it to him, or is he saying it to him? And I was just like, I had to keep going back, and I was like, I had to get the subtitles on in the end. I was like, okay, he's saying it. Yeah, so that's the character. Yeah, that's Agent Stone from Sonic. I was like, that's pretty cool. I was like, he's in fucking quite a few things now. What else?
The elf kids.
Oh, I know Cam's pain during that sequence. From basically looking after kids before, I know the fucking pain there of being bullied by them.
She called him out.
He wants 10 babies.
He wants 10 kids of you.
it's his. I love the animation of his face drop of, and her face as well. I just love that whole sequence. It's just. Again, it's another one of those moments where there's a heartwarming moment. There's a bit of humour there. Before we get into the dark bit of him dealing with dark magic again.
The whole Emerald Cove scene, like that entire part was great.
Yeah, there's just a lot.
It was the calm before the storm.
Yeah, because it pretty much hit in straight away, didn't it, after that of where this was going.
Because it was like, I can see myself living here.
Yeah, because it's kind of cushioned, isn't it? Because you have that big moment with her and the keeper, and then in between, obviously that happening and Callum obviously trying to deal with the plan to go forward and dealing with the dark magic stuff. You have that really nice moment for him and obviously Rayla when they're literally basically looking at possibly living in this place, from straight away, for a long time, basically. Because, I mean, we do get a funny moment before they even go in there when he's like, I can go in there, look, I've got my elf disguise on. And he's like, it's the bit when he speaks to the keeper. It's the bit when he speaks to the keeper, and he's like, no, outside. He's like, I agree.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
Gotta keep them out, haven't we? He's just like, it's just the twig breaks. And he's like, uh-oh. Let's just say that whole Emerald stuff, there's such a mixture of dark moments in that sequence, but then there's a lot of really nice heartwarming moments from the reunion between the two dads, and then obviously the actual just them trying to live this life in here. There's a lot of, especially when the fact that if you look out of this grove, some of the stuff that's going on, obviously Ez trying to fucking deal with Aravos and a lot of the stuff that's happening right now, and then obviously Claudia and Aravos doing dark deeds. This is a nice wind down, nice chill moments while the fucking outside the world's dealing with such shit, and then you drag these characters into that shit to make them fight to save the world, and it's just so well built from the start of it being the aftermath, then slowly building up to the point of the big final battle. The whole season from start to finish is so perfectly executed.
Sorry, I was just reading my notes. And the one that just made me laugh was Pride Papa. Is that a new name for Eddie?
For fuck's sake, Alex.
What? I can't help it. I have to make jokes in my notes.
yeah, there's a lot of really cool moments. There's a lot of really good story development that we haven't really seen too much. I mean, the fact that we actually delve a bit more into Claudia and Soren's obviously mom.
That when I saw her, I was like, oh, okay. And then the acting of it, I was like, oh, that's not right.
The fact that we actually got something to do with her in this season, for the fact we haven't really had anything, we only ever got references. The fact we actually get something this time round is a good way, especially if this is going to be the final outing. The fact we got something on that front, I kind of want to see a bit more if they do any more. I think that'd be kind of interesting because we saw Soren's reaction to the idea of his mom being brought in to try and deal with the Claudia situation. I'd like to see more of
why,
like his reaction to her in person. And obviously, I say the bit we got with Claudia, I definitely want to see more of how obviously she'd react again in this situation. Because I mean, the situation we got obviously wasn't 100% the truth, so we got a really dark moment at the end of it. But what if we got a scene when it was 100% the truth? How is she going to react in that sequence? I would like to see that. There's just so much about this season that is just
would
perfection.
she actually do that to her mom?
There's just a lot of.
I almost said what happened, but I was like,
You kept your mouth shut, good lad.
We've been doing good keeping this semi-spoiler free.
I wouldn't say it's like fully like. I mean, we've made references to stuff that people probably understand.
Like, what, a month now?
Yeah, but it's still not as like.
What are you doing?
We're still not fucking going like, Cam chopped his own head off. Oh shit, Alex! I told him what happened.
Damn it!
We're not giving away like those sort of details. I mean, I did slightly mention when we were talking about the voice of one of the characters, but.
I mean, it don't really matter. It's only for one scene, and then that's it.
That's more of just a setup for what's to come.
Yeah,
but I say from the opening moment of this series to the final moment, it's just for me is just my favorite entry in the Dragon Prince saga so far.
Yeah,
it just covered every basis that I would like for a final outing or any season really to cover: action, humor, love. Beautiful visuals, a good story, an actual threat in terms of villain, and then an actual like sort of finale, which obviously both closes the chapter but leaves a chapter open maybe for a future visit. It's like it's just it's just one thing that is very annoying for me though is because we both, this is our first time watching it. That's what I'm going to point that out. 33 minutes into this video, it's the first time we've actually watched this show, this season at least. Sorry, because we saved it. We saved it.
We watched the 7th episode season is the first time we've ever watched it.
Obviously, we saved this show. We both went before. It came out just before Christmas, was it?
It was like the 17th of December.
Yeah, it was like the week before Christmas, and obviously it was like. I want to watch it, but at the same time, I want to save it for when we watch it, obviously review it, because I want to have this first impression.
Yeah.
Because or else I'm going to have to watch it in December and then watch it again in January. And I'm just like, I don't want to do that. I want to just watch it once and be like, this is my first impression of the show. So we both were like, okay, we'll save it. And the kind of annoying thing for doing that is that for me, this show it is in my top 10 shows now of last year. This season, at least, is in my top 10. I mean, Series 6 is in my top 20.
Yeah.
But this series...
Be a list.
I know, obviously, because the list I put out recently on the podcast, obviously, this would have knocked out... I think Echo was number 10. This would have knocked out Echo and actually gone a bit higher up. I think my list, it's like number 6 or 7 in my list. If it's number 7, that was not intended. I didn't intend to put Series 7 at number 7. I keep accidentally doing that. I fucking put Kaiju number 8 in my most anticipated list at number 8.
Yeah.
That was pure fucking coincidental. I put Sonic 3 at number 3 in my top movie. Honestly, they're coincidental moments. I'm just like...
Coincidence.
I don't even notice until I actually talk about the moments.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I think this is like... has to be something like number 7 and number 8 in my top 10.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a shame that I couldn't acknowledge that until now because of waiting. And on top of that, I definitely would have probably put this up for Best Animated Show at the Golden Cape Awards. Yeah. It definitely would have been up there. Heck, I would have debated like hell with myself if to give it a nomination for Best TV Show. of
Yeah.
2024, because it definitely could easily be in that category. It's just
Mm.
such a good show that hats off to everyone who made this show, and hats off to everyone who's made and have been a part of this entire
Yeah.
7 seasons, because this is the end.
It's been such a development as
Yeah.
well. So, like, you can tell the difference from season 1 to season 7. The improvements have been astonishing.
So I think there's only really been 2 seasons that we've both looked at and been like slightly down at, but it's not, you know, it's not terrible. I think series 2 and series 5, I think those are the ones, the middle seasons of the arcs essentially. But with obviously 1, 3,
Well,
4,
5, the middle season.
5 and 6 are kind of like the middle of this arc, aren't they? Really. So it's 5.
Oh wait, yeah.
It's like it's a weird arc. 1 to 3 is like an easy one to say. 2's the middle, whereas 4 to 7, 5 and 6 are kind of like the middle section.
Yeah.
And we obviously 5 was the one that sort of dropped down, but 6 definitely picked it up.
Pick back up.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just those 2 seasons that have dropped off, but they're the middle ones. They're the ones trying to develop a bit, and there's not too much going on that was just wow factor. But I think everything around those seasons have just been absolutely perfect. Again, hats off to everyone involved in this show. It's been such a journey from start to finish.
Absolutely.
And then say if this is the end, well, you've gone out with a bang. I'll give you that much. I say I hope it's not the end, because as we say, it definitely feels like there's more to tell.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 2 Netflix animated shows that dropped the back end of last year that were dubbed the final entries, but definitely feel like there's more story there. The other being Arcane. That's another show that definitely felt like there was more story.
I've still not watched season 2 yet.
Oh, it's good. It's good. But it's another one that definitely felt at the end when you finish it, you're like, I can see like multiple stories that could easily be carried on here. It's definitely just like that. It's crazy.
Honestly, League of Legends has so much lore that they can go off of. Like it's ridiculous how much stuff that they've got that they just haven't used.
Yeah.
And I know that from playing it, God knows, like 10 years ago.
I just know it from reading stuff online.
God knows how much more stuff now.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just I definitely the rating I will obviously give this in a minute. Obviously, if this show doesn't get renewed for a season 8, in reality, my rating does dip down because it has. Yes, it's a great season, but for the fact that the story, it needs another go just to wrap out the little.
Yeah,
because I feel like if there weren't big hints, like big moments, like if it was just like moments of
like small little tiny like little twinkles, not like
like maybe like big reveals.
Yeah,
maybe like there's some at the moment like them looking at the kingdom like, well, we've got this kingdom to rule. How do you want to do this? And it just ends or something like with the idea. You can have the idea of you carry on there and see how this kingdom's been ruled since we last saw them. But at the same time, you look at it and go, but you can literally just end there and that's done. That's fucking perfect. Whereas the stories that they've hinted at, we need to see explored.
I'm not gonna lie, I do not like the name that they picked. Just saying, it's very cliche and very. Ugh.
Oh, you mean for the kingdom?
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was like, name they picked. What are you on about? Name, and I was realised, I think I know what you're on about.
I do not like it. It's very boring.
But yeah, it's definitely one of those ones where the rating will slightly dip down. Not like a massive dip, but a slight dip down if it doesn't get renewed, because I just need those stories wrapped up. So that's why I like, for example, Castlevania, another animated Netflix show. How that ended was a good ending. There was still the idea of, you could carry on, but you don't have to. And they have carried on, but with a spin-off, completely new characters, years down the line. That works for me, and I'm kind of hoping that, I would like that for this, but for the fact that they've clearly hinted at some big stories to develop, we need season 8. Yeah. We need this 3-season arc that they said they'd do if it does well enough. We need it. And if Netflix, you cancel this show and get another really popular show, ooh,
I'll shake my walking stick at you.
Exactly. But yeah, as I say, fucking Dragon Prince as an overall show is just so fucking good.
Yeah.
I mean, right in your background there, you've got a picture of Dragon Prince that I got you for Christmas, which is pretty cool. And there's a mug just Yeah, there you go. There's a mug just there, the coaster underneath, which is, shows our love for Dragon Prince.
Yeah.
But yeah. Obviously, before we get into the ratings, I can't remember the ratings on top of my head now. On screen, you're going to see the old ratings for the last 6 seasons.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, Alex. Why'd you give that one a 0 out of 5?
Wait, what?
But yeah, no, obviously, because I can't remember exact ratings. So on screen now, you'll see Alex's, which I'll work out because I'm pretty certain we said them in the last one, so I can get them off there. Instead of going through every single video, I'll go through there. And there you can see, obviously, my one's on screen for the past 6 seasons. So you get an idea of basically our love for this show. So, right, season 7. Out of 5, Alex, what we're giving it?
Oh shit, we do it out of 5.
Yeah, Dragon Prince, it was the early...
I'm going to give this like a 9.9 out of 10.
Out of 5, it was because it's one of those ones where we started this show with the 5 ratings, because straight off the back of the Pokemon stuff, we kind of kept that rating, but then a lot of the other stuff we adapted into the 10 out of 10 ratings. But we'll wrap it out with the 5. It makes sense. Continue at what's the word I'm after here? Is it continuity? Something like that.
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. Like, I want to go 4.9, 4.9 recurring, because it's basically perfect. But at the same time, I agree with you. Like, I want more, and if they don't give me more, then I will be sad. I will be a sad boy.
And so just put your mindset now that there possibly is more. What would you give this if there is possibly more to come?
If there's more, then 5.
But then, obviously, you can have the mindset now of if when you're watching this, if they don't renew this, then Alex is going down.
It's
to
going to be like
4.5. I think this rating is like 0.5 is up in this one, isn't it? So you'd knock it down to like a 4.5 out of anger.
Yeah.
Out of anger at Netflix.
I'll shake my walking stick at you, even though I don't have one, because I can walk perfectly fine, even though I look like I wobble. And I know I'm doing the anchor symbol, but that's besides the point.
So I am going to agree with you. This season is a 5 out of 5, with the possibility of, if Netflix do not renew this show, it will drop to a 4.5. But just because of we want these stories to be finished.
Yeah.
Especially the one big one, really. Well, I'd say there's 2 real big ones. Obviously, the 7-year is a big one, really. But then also the bird thing is also a big one. So if those two were basically wrapped up in this final episode, I would have been okay.
I wouldn't have been. Like, it would have literally just been like quick little, like.
Yeah, I feel like obviously, you could probably drag that one out a bit, but
let's do a movie and wrap it up.
But I think they're aiming at a 3-season arc, though.
I know. I'm just saying, like, a 3-season arc isn't better, but I'm just saying they could, in theory.
Yes. Similar to Troll Hunters on Netflix, the animated DreamWorks series. They did Troll Hunters, Free Below, Wizards, and then they did a big movie bringing them all together. So similar to that, basically. They've done all these seasons and then one big one to wrap up the whole story. So I could see that. Let's say just Netflix, give us what you want. Give us that. Yeah. Give us that season 8, and we'll shut the fuck up.
Give me what I really, really want. No, give me what I want. What I really, really want. I really, really, really want a Dragon Prince season 8.
Fuck's sake, Alex. So yes, that is it for today's episode. Obviously, we're still taking this little break from Dragon and Bear show to focus more on the gaming stuff.
Yeah.
We might come back again. We might look at like another show to come back at down the line to sit through. I
mean, we still have that discussion to really do, really, about the big P.
The big P.
Yeah.
Big P.
Big P.
Is it with this show or something else?
Another show.
Oh, okay. Big P. My brain's gone dead right now. Well, you explain it to me in a minute. You're not helping. You'd have to explain it to me in a minute. My brain's gone dead. So obviously we'll look at something down the line, maybe coming back. I kind of liked what we did with the Gravity Falls one, where it was like episode by episode. Because I mean, we kind of got to sit through it and dissect an episode a bit more.
Yeah.
So I might look at doing like another show in the same sort of sense. At some point down the line, but I say at the moment we're focusing on gaming, which is obviously the Supermarket Together. Oh, Pokemon?
Yeah.
Discussion?
No.
I'm confused, but I'll get back to you in a minute. But yes,
Sorry, I'm impatient.
we'll look at something down the line. Let's say Supermarket Together is our big thing at the moment, and then we're looking at maybe if we can drag that out till we do Split Fiction when that comes out. If not, we'll find something else in between and say, well, we'll have a discussion of what we can do with Dragon Bear Show, maybe middle of the year. But until then, I hope you've enjoyed our little, it's basically a spoiler-free review. I mean, there's slight moments where it leaned into it, but we didn't go full detail, so it's a spoiler-free one, a longer one than normal. And yes, thank you for joining me, Alex. Don't forget to check him out on Twitch and YouTube.
And
search
TikTok,
and TikTok, search Bearaputic.
Bearaputic.
His link is always in the description below, so you can get him that way. And yeah, so if you haven't watched any of the Dragon Prince seasons, our reviews on them yet, what are you doing here at Series 7? Go back, watch 1 to 6.
One by one.
Exactly, and you have other Dragon Ball Show stuff to go through as well, so there's stuff there for you to watch while you wait for us to get back on the show.
Yeah.
So
go.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Or else.
If you like what you've seen, don't be afraid to throw us a little like and subscribe. That's always very appreciated over here. And well, I'll see you on the next video.